It was a typical day at the water park, understaffed, chaotic, and honestly, a little too hot for comfort. Our crew was barely hanging on, and here comes Brenda, late, as always. I'm telling you, this woman had mastered the art of just showing up enough to avoid getting fired. You know the type? Just enough effort to get by, but never any more. When Brenda walked in, I could already feel the eye twitch starting. She strolled in with a Starbucks cup in one hand and a McDonald's breakfast bag in the other, as if she were on a mini vacation instead of on duty. Meanwhile, the rest of us were scrambling to keep everything running smoothly, like it was some kind of lifeguard relay race. I was the one who ended up having to cover for her, of course. The park was packed, and my usual calm demeanor was starting to fray at the edges. But Brenda? She didn't even seem to notice. She was too busy enjoying her breakfast, sitting down and acting like she had all the time in the world. Meanwhile, I'm out there adjusting shifts, moving guards around, and trying to keep everything from collapsing into a mess. Fast forward a little, and Brenda's shift takes her to one of the rides where families were waiting in line. Now, these rides aren't exactly simple. They require a safety briefing before anyone gets on. So, you'd think Brenda, being a lifeguard and all, would be perfectly capable of explaining it. But nope. She gave her spiel like she was reading off a script written by someone who didn't care. The family didn't understand her instructions, and they politely asked her to repeat them. That's when everything went downhill. Brenda, bless her heart, didn't just repeat herself. She snapped. "Can't pay attention to a word I say?" she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. That's right, she actually shouted that at them, in front of everyone. Now, I'm no expert in customer service, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you keep the paying customers happy. The family was understandably upset, but instead of apologizing or at least trying to fix things, Brenda doubled down. She raised her arms dramatically, as if she were on some reality show, calling everyone stupid and daring them to find a manager. Now, I'm not saying I enjoy drama, but this was like watching a train wreck in slow motion. And yet, somehow, she didn't realize just how bad this looked. Naturally, I had to step in. I radioed the manager, and he came down with a look of serious determination. We weren't going to let this slide. We couldn't afford to let one person mess up the entire park's reputation, especially not someone like Brenda. So, we decided to make sure the family saw that something was actually being done. We weren't going to just sweep this under the rug. Now, here's where things take a fun turn. I thought the situation couldn't get worse, but Brenda, ever the overachiever, decided to escalate things further. She picked up a ride tube, you know, the big, heavy ones, and tried to swing it at the manager. Yes, you heard me right. She tried to hit him with it. This woman went full action movie villain mode, only without the charm. But that wasn't enough for Brenda. Oh no. She wasn't done. She made a mad dash down the slide, hoping to escape like some kind of lifeguard ninja. The only problem? She wasn't exactly Usain Bolt. She tripped and fell, and security caught up with her faster than I could say escape plan. She tried to climb down from the slide, but the whole thing was just too ridiculous. I mean, it was like watching someone trying to run away from a giant water slide that didn't care about her dramatic escape. Now, we had her cornered, and it was only a matter of time before we got her. Her car, a Corolla she loved to brag about, was still in the parking lot. We called the lead guard, and after some radio chatter, we confirmed the car was still there. Brenda might have been trying to escape, but she wasn't exactly being subtle. We put a squad car at the exit gate to make sure she wouldn't get away, and sure enough, we spotted her trying to drive out. She got through the first gate, but the second one? Yeah, no chance. The guards had already shut it down, trapping her like, well, a very confused and frustrated animal in a cage. And then, like some twisted version of a Disney movie, the family who had been offended earlier walked away, satisfied, with Brenda's karma hitting her full force. I was standing on top of one of the rides when I saw her get arrested from a distance. Honestly, I felt bad for her for a split second. Then I remembered all the mess she caused, and I thought, nah, she deserves this. It was a wild day, and by the end of it, I couldn't help but laugh. Brenda, the lifeguard who thought she could get away with anything, learned the hard way that actions have consequences. And honestly, I didn't even have to do much, just stand back and watch as the drama unfolded.